Hello, people of the internet. Yep, still awkward with greetings. Sorry. Today we're going to be looking at some more Siren stuff, because I can. I like this game a lot, so you'll just have to bear with me as I gush about it for a while. In this video we're going to more specifically be looking at the Japanese demo disc for Siren, along with the long-awaited strategy guide. And long-awaited for me, I will explain later. So let's just get right into it. First, the demo. This is a Japanese demo disc, like I mentioned. I'm not 100% sure where this came from, but I did read somewhere that it could have possibly been copies given to stores to have customers play in the store, but don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. So anyway, this comes in a thin jewel case with nothing but the disc and the front cover / pamphlet thing. The disc is a very vibrant red, kind of like a candy apple red. It's very appealing, I must say. It's very pretty. The slip on the side opens up and has quite a bit on the inside. I'm not gonna lie, I can't read most of this, as you would imagine, but from what I've been able to tell from my handy dandy Google Translate is that it gives a brief description of the game. It lists what is on the demo and gives you controls for how to play the game. Pretty decent, I'd say, so let's actually boot up the disc and see what's on it. So the menu for the demo is basically the same as the menu for the NTSC and PAL versions of the game that I've played, and I assume the Japanese version is the same too. The only difference is the menu options. Like I said, I can't really read this, so forgive me if my weak translations are off, and if you can read this and you know what they say, feel free to correct me in the comments. But basically, the first three options from left to right are the three different stages that you can play. The first stage is called Village Center, which is the second stage in the full game. Right at the beginning, you are taught how to sightjack, which is a crucial element of the game, but yeah, basically this is just a short tutorial level. The second one is called Tanada, I believe, which Google says it translates into rice terraces, which makes sense from what I can tell based on how the level looks. I think this is the fifth stage in the full game, but keep in mind that the order is not strict, I guess. The order in which you play certain levels can change. It's kind of complicated to explain. But yeah, anyway, this is another earlier level that you explore in a larger area compared to the first level. You're encouraged to use your sightjacking ability a little bit more, and you have a companion with you who's blind and you have to help guide her to the other end of the map. This is also where you have your first potential encounter with enemies on the demo. This is also where I noticed that this is most likely a direct copy of the level in the actual game, because sometimes in demos they will modify the level slightly, but this seems completely identical. Let me explain first by saying that these levels are designed to make you complete certain objectives and maybe pick up certain items or interact with something in order to unlock or complete later levels. In this stage, for example, you can find one of, I believe, 4 stones that you need to knock over in order to complete a later level that is not in the demo, but you can still do this objective on the demo. Let's look at the third and final stage on this disc, titled School. Shockingly, this takes place in a school. I'm not sure what number you would put this at chronologically, since the order can change, like I said, but it's a little further into the first day, which there's 3 days in total in the game, plus like a prologue and epilogue kind of thing. If I had to guess, I'd say that this is probably one of the more, I don't know, iconic levels, I guess. You play as a teacher who is hiding with a student in a school, and it really challenges you to be stealthy and hone your sight jacking as you sneak around multiple enemies. I like this level a lot because you have to be a bit more strategic about how you get around everybody because you are weaponless for most of the level. This is also another one of those levels that allows you to complete an objective for a later level in the game, which tells me yet again that this is directly just from the full game. Anyway, I think this is a good last level that you could spend some time on until you know how to make your way around, which even I still mess up from time to time, and I've 100% completed this game. Yes, I'm gonna flex, because this game is really hard. We're not quite done yet, though. There's still a few more options on the demo disc, which, from what I've seen, these are not on the American demo disc, so next is what I think is called promotional video, which just looks like what it sounds like. It's a promotional video or like an advertisement kind of thing. Next, I think says interview, which includes 2 interview videos. The first one is from, I'm gonna butcher this, Takafumi Fujisawa. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. After doing some intense research, by intense research I mean Wikipedia, it looks like he is the producer for the game. I don't know what he's saying, I don't speak the language, but you get to see some cool behind the scenes clips, so that's appreciated. The second interview is from Keiichiro Toyama, sorry for butchering it again, who is the director, and he's also known for creating the Silent Hill and Gravity Rush games. Again, I'm not really sure what's being said, but you get to see some more behind the scenes stuff, so I think it's cool. The last option in the menu, Google translated to me as just making, which you can imagine is basically a video with a series of clips that shows you how they made the game. And it's actually really cool to watch. I know I've probably said that a lot of times, it's really cool, but I think this demo is really cool. You get to see how they captured people's faces and the animations and so on. I know there's a terminology for this, but I just can't think of it at the moment. You also get to see real locations that they clearly used to make the levels in the game, so I thought that was really fascinating. But I think for a game like this, it's really cool to see all of this stuff because there's not a lot of games that will literally slap someone's face on a 3D model the way that they did. And it's a unique look that, well, I think is kind of goofy looking, to be honest. It kind of adds to the weird atmosphere of the game, so I thought it was interesting to see how it was done. Alex is playing with their toy, sorry. Anyway, I think we touched on pretty much everything that this demo has to offer. The only other thing I noticed was that in the menu at the end of the loop, you can hear this weird shriek that I've never heard in any part of any version of this game, or at least that I can remember. It caught me off guard the first time I heard it. But yeah, I think I thoroughly covered the demo, so let's finally touch on the strategy guide. This was not easy to get a hold of, so I'm gonna enjoy talking about this. But for some reason, this is one of those guides that people sell for more money than the actual game itself. And yeah, I paid more for this than it's actually worth, but nevertheless, I'm still happy to have it. It's kind of like when you buy a Sims expansion and you know that they're ripping you off, but you also know that you're gonna play the crap out of it, so yeah. Anyway, if you've ever played this game, you know that a guide or a walkthrough of some kind is basically a necessity if you ever plan on finishing it. Some of the things you have to do are so obscure and out of the box that most people just won't be able to figure out how to progress to a certain point. I really wish I had this guide when I was playing through it because I spent a lot of time completely clueless on what to do. I resorted to using my phone to find like a text walkthrough, but for some reason the website that I was using wouldn't work right on my phone, and it made it really frustrating and sometimes impossible to use. Anyway, the point is, this is one of those few games where a guide is actually necessary, in my opinion, and this would have been a godsend had I had this when I was actually playing through the game. I mentioned earlier that the order of the stages that you play can change, and it's another reason why looking up a guide online was sometimes really difficult to find exactly what you need. This guide clearly lists the levels in the table of contents, so it makes things pretty easy. The only complaint I have is that I wish the table of contents and the header on the side of the pages would list which objective is on what page more clearly, because in order to progress you have to go back and repeat levels with the second objective, and it can sometimes be confusing to know which objective you're looking at in the guide since they put each objective in different sections. Overall, I think it's very organized and easy to read. I think the general layout and design of each page looks really good too. But anyway, I think I've gone on long enough about this stuff, so I will shut up now. But feel free to leave a comment and tell me what you think, or if you've played this game before. I only found out about this game a year or two ago, so I'm just now enjoying it recently. Fairly recently, but yeah, you can just say hi too, and I'll say hi back in the comments. Oh, and leave a like and subscribe or whatever. Bye-bye.